Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Starting out our program, we are going to be reading the 2010 collective poem. If you did not get a chance to sign up for the reading of the 2011 collective poem for next year, please feel free to do so at the end table over here. Reading the 2010 collective poem, please welcome Laura Lee Lakunich, founder of Passions for Mother's Flowers.
Spirits piggybacking wind. Spraying creeks rise over lily blankets wet with mallard play. Duly parted by the grand egret strut. See her parading eternal dance in the golden reflection. Feel his hug in the ancients' canopies embrace. Remember their laughter when pausing on tickling pebbles. Look closely, they smile with their whole soul, in a space where all souls are one, in a dimension we cannot see unless we look. Their spirits piggybacking this wind, celebrating our memories and theirs. Hear her voice echo in our hearts. Hear his laughter throughout our house. We miss them both, but they live on forever in our hearts. God, thank you for this moment, this place, this beauty. Father is a whistle in the wind. He's the bird visiting outside my window. Pappy is a helping hand at the pond. He's a giving soul. It was always about the simple joys. Death can't keep them in the ground. Can everybody hear me okay? I also would like to thank you for joining us, our second annual Plant and Remember ceremony, to honor and to remember those we have lost to cancer. In honor of our second ceremony, and particularly to celebrate the completion of the Memorial Garden this past year, I would like to give you a history of how this all came to be. In the summer of 2009, I was weeding my mother's flower beds while she was in the hospital recovering from a chemotherapy treatment. And as I was doing that, I thought, wouldn't it be a great idea to create an organization that would help those who have a passion for flowers while they are focusing on surviving cancer to keep that passion alive by tending their flower beds. I shared that idea with my mother one day in the hospital, and she loved it and smiled, and on that day, Passion for Mother's Flowers was conceived. Later that fall, I thought, wouldn't it be great to have a township community memorial garden, a special sanctuary where we could honor loved ones we have lost to cancer. I called a friend of mine, Steve Campbell at Hampton Township, and I said, Steve, I have this great idea. Could I have 10 minutes of your time? And he said, sure, come on over. And we spoke about this idea of developing a community memorial garden. I later met with him and Mike Gossert, and 20 minutes into the meeting, I had their blessing to go ahead and develop the memorial garden that you see here today. I also would like to take time during this occasion to pay particular appreciation to those that are responsible for what we have here today. And my first thanks will be to Hampton Township. We have Commissioners Al Beinstock, Nate Silcox, John Thomas here with us today. Gentlemen, if you would mind coming forward, please. On behalf of Passion for Mother's Flowers, and perhaps more importantly on behalf of the community, we would like to thank Hampton Township for allowing us to use this piece of property to develop this community memorial garden. Thank you.
think of a better use for this piece of property, and this will find a prominent place. So thanks for all you do.
Thank you.
Yeah, very nice. The sewer authority actually had to vote to do this because it belongs to the sewer authority. I'm chairman of that, and so when I came in and said it, they said, "Oh my goodness gracious, yes, what a wonderful thing." And my understanding is that this is all going to grow up in the station with the sewer authority will be as visible. So again, it's a wonderful thing. George Weig will do a great job for it. Thank you.
Well, now that we had the land upon which to develop the garden, we had to figure out where do we go from there. And I was first introduced to the concept of reaching out to George Weigel, the Patriot News garden guru, to see if he would be interested in developing this, giving us a design for this garden. I contacted George, and George was honored to be able to give back to his community by designing the beautiful garden that you see here today. George, would you come forward? Thank you, George. I'll just keep on going here. Well, we needed to have a centerpiece, didn't we? A nice sculpture. And someone put a little name in my ear and said David Hutton. And what a pleasure it was meeting David Hutton. And David's sculpture in the center of our garden, which he so lovingly created and gave to us, it is beautiful. David, could you come forward? Thank you. Our fourth partner is Rural Landscape, who for days, him and his staff developed the stones, the winding pathways, essentially took what George had on paper and made it come to life. As you can imagine, a landscaper today is busy working, so he's not here with us today. But I'd like to go ahead and offer a round of applause for Mike Ruhl and Ruhl Landscape. Now that we had all the partners in place and we knew how to make the garden come alive, we had to identify how are we going to get the content in the garden. And we were brainstorming. I remember one day George Weigel and David Hutton and Mike Ruhl and myself, and we came up with the idea of identifying gift bag sponsors and letting the community create this garden so that it truly was your garden. I'd like to go ahead and take a couple minutes to recognize our gift bag sponsors. Gift bag sponsors are primarily your community's small business people who have given to this project. The money that they have given has purchased all of the content and is used to help maintain this garden. I'd like to thank AC&H Services. I'd like to thank All Pro West. Thank you, Dottie. Raise your hand. I'd like to thank Colston Communications, Cookie Lee Jewelry, DL Leitzel and Son, Denmark Business Solutions, Duties Lock Safety and Security, Emerald Senior Services, Barb. Thank you, sweetie. Love you. Equity Lending Group, F&M Trust. Thank you, Lindsay. Where are you? Thank you. Gemini 5 Designs, Bill. Thank you. Grace United Methodist Church in Lemoyne, Haas Printing, Handyman Matters, Bob. Where are you, Bob? Thank you, Bob. Hearts and Hands, Highland Gardens, Hospice for All Seasons, Joni. Thank you. House of Vocals, Amy. And Jerry, guitarist, thank you. Carnes Quality Foods, Kreitzer's Automotive, thank you, Jim. Lindrell, Lovey Dovey by Kathy, thank you, Kathy. Milo Service Enterprises, Newberry Peddlers Market, Kathy, thank you. Old Mill Impressions, Orrstown Bank, Preferred Business Services Provider, that'd be me. Radel Electric, that would be that good-looking husband of mine over there. Mary Kay, Sass Salon and Day Spa, Sinorama, Law Offices of Michael Sharuka, Teal Employee Benefit Group, Training Masters, thank you, Rita. Watch the Noggin and Don Jacobs Insurance. Join me in thanking all of them.
You'll get them going.
In concluding a thank of the sponsors, I would like to say again that these sponsors have supported your community by doing what they're doing. And as you go out in your day-to-day business, I would like you to consider, in turn, supporting their businesses. I have saved my best thanks for last, and that would be to the woman who inspired, was so inspirational, is so inspirational, to inspire all this effort to put this memorial garden together. And that is my mother, Sandy Reece. She's not with us today. She is resting at home. She is in her final days of the struggle against cancer, and I honor her, and I would like to applaud her. My hope is that this memorial garden gives you inspiration. My message to you today is twofold. The first is that in adversity, there is opportunity, always. The second is that while it may take many hands in order to give back to your community, as you can see here today, it only takes one hand to begin. Let your hand be that hand. Together, we genuinely can make our communities a little piece of heaven on earth. I thank you.